It's catching fire with everyone. Indian fever. You can be part of the fun. You're the winner at every game. That's where the excitement begins. So catch Indian fever. Be a believer with the Cleveland Indians.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the March 12th, 2019 Lake County Sentinel podcast. I'm your host, publisher, and sports editor of the Lake County Sentinel, Tim Shirer. We'll be with you for a half hour tonight, and we're going to talk for the first 15 minutes. We'll talk sports. We'll talk about the Cavs. We'll talk about the Monsters. We'll talk about the Icebreakers. We'll talk about the Browns free agent situation and who they've signed and re-signed, and maybe a couple other NFL notes. Maybe the ones that matter to me. And it will prove I can rip on another NFL team, even one I like, not just the Browns. So. Also, then in news and sports, we'll talk about the college scandal, bribery scandal involving some Hollywood types, and we'll give a stock market update. So, the Cavs last night stunned the Toronto Raptors 126-101 at the Q. They dominated the game. Let's be honest. They dominated the game. They made the Raptors look like they're not that good of a team. And, it was really fun to watch that game last night. And to see them beat a team that was good, and to shut local radio personalities up who have said, oh, they don't beat anybody that's any good, these people that have a double standard. When the Browns beat somebody that's no good, they say a win is a win. When the Cavs beat somebody that's no good, they say, well, they beat somebody who's no good. So they beat a good team last night. So they had to admit they beat a good team today. And it was fun to watch. I watched the whole game. I was a little disappointed that Marquise Chris got suspended. I thought that Serge Ibaka definitely should have got suspended, and he probably should have gotten more than 3 games. But they don't want to upset the Raptors, playoff hopes too much, because the league is a Raptor. They kind of like the Raptors. They know really that the Raptors are probably the best team in the East. Them in Milwaukee. That's probably going to be Eastern Conference Final this year, I would think. If it works out that way. I would have to say that Milwaukee and Toronto will probably be in the Eastern Conference Finals. So they don't want to suspend Serge Ibaka for too long and maybe have Toronto go into a tailspin. So they gave him 3 games. But Chris should not have gotten any games. As I said to somebody earlier today, if Serge Ibaka had done that in the hallway by the locker rooms, he would have got arrested. You can't just choke somebody. He choked him. He not only grabbed him around the neck, but then he pushed him against the stanchion of the basket and choked him more. How can you suspend Marquise Chris for fighting back? Of course he hit him. I would have hit him too. That's ridiculous that they suspended him. It's ridiculous. But I knew that he would get suspended because not to sound mean, but in the scheme of the NBA, Chris is a nobody. Okay? So it's easy for them to suspend him because outside of Cleveland, outside of people who saw the fight, nobody cares. Okay? And nobody cares. And it's always politically correct. If you throw a punch, you got to get suspended. But of course he threw a punch. He was getting choked. Jeez. What kind of a person doesn't defend themselves? You just let him choke him? So it was a nice win, though. But they play tonight at 7 in Philadelphia, and it probably will be ugly. It probably will not be like last night's game because Kevin Love is not playing tonight. Colin Sexton had 28 last night, by the way. I think that ought to be. And 0 turnovers. 28 points and 0 turnovers. If you remember a young Kyrie Irving, he turned the ball over a lot. There were games where he had more turnovers than assists. So Sexton, 28 points, no turnovers against one of the best defensive teams in the National Basketball Association. Okay? That's progress, people. If you don't like Colin Sexton, you're on the wrong side of history because Colin Sexton's going to be really good. So that's, you just watch because he's going to end up being, I think he's better than Kyrie Irving already. For the plain fact, he stays healthy. So watch, he'll get hurt tonight. Hopefully not. But now let's move on to the Monsters. The Monsters play tomorrow morning at 11:30 our time in Milwaukee against the Admirals. The Admirals are now in another conference, so they don't play them as much. But the Monsters have 65 points. I believe they have like 7 games left. They're 4 points out of the playoffs. So they've got a shot. They still have a shot. They're 4 points out of 4th place. So they've narrowed it quite a bit. So I think the last time we talked about the Monsters a week ago or more, they were like 8 points out of the 4th spot at least. So I think they narrowed it to 4. This is very good. So now they've got a shot. They just got to get in the playoffs. You just have to make the playoffs. People in Cleveland also don't understand that because they complain about the Indians. You just have to make the playoffs, and you never know what can happen in any sport. I don't care what sport it is. I think 2007 is a perfect example of that. Cavaliers were by no means the best team in the Eastern Conference, and they got to the finals. Maybe the worst team ever to get to the finals, but they made it. So Monsters could just get in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. The men are icebreakers. They needed really to win 2 out of 3 last weekend to have any outside chance of making the Federal Hockey League playoffs. Well, they didn't. They won 1 of 3. So they only got 3 points out of a possible 9 on the weekend. So I think they're pretty much out of the playoffs. I don't think there's any chance really now. They have to make up 15 points. They have 9 games left. It's a shame. They've played better in the second half of the year. I hope people who like hockey and live in Lake County, even if you don't live in Lake County, I hope people have supported the franchise because it's really cool that we have a professional hockey franchise in Lake County. So I think that's kind of awesome. And I hope they return for a second season next year. I don't know if there's, any word about that. I'll try to find out from my contacts. I'm very disappointed that I haven't gotten to a game this year. I really would have liked to have gone to a game. It just hasn't worked out. The one Sunday I thought I was going to be able to, things ran longer than they were expected, and I didn't get to go. So there are some games left. Maybe we'll still get to one. I don't know. I hope that they return for a second season, though. They play Friday this week at 7:05 at the Carolina T-Birds. So at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. Carolina's the best team in the league. The Icebreakers are, the worst. So, who knows? They beat them 3 times this year, so maybe they can beat them again this weekend. So we'll see. But let's move on now. We're going to move on to, we're going to actually move on to the Browns. We're going to talk about the Browns. It's reported that they re-signed Brashard Perriman to a 1-year deal. The club has not confirmed that yet. They have re-signed defensive lineman Carl Davis. Terms are undisclosed. He joined the Browns via waivers last year during the final roster cut. He appeared in 5 games. He was originally a third-round draft pick by the Ravens in 2015. He has appeared in 33 career games and started 12, and has recorded 31 tackles and a half of a sack. So he's kind of I don't know if he's maybe depth, or is he a training camp guy? I don't know. But they re-signed him today, and supposedly they re-signed Rashad Perriman to a 1-year deal, which is probably a good trade. You can never have enough receivers. They get hurt all the time. So, and I kind of liked what he brought the last part of the season. He's got that toughness about him. He's got that kind of, I'm a jerk attitude. And hey, I guess that's the way it goes in the NFL. I guess that's what people like, and what players. Those guys are successful. So that's the kind of guy that it takes to win. Then they have him. Supposedly, it's reported by several outlets. Pro Football Talk reported it first, I believe, Mike Floria, that the Browns have signed to a 3-year deal. They've signed defensive lineman Sheldon Richardson, who has played for Seattle, the Jets, and last year Minnesota. That's a really good signing, if you ask me. I think it's a really good signing. He's good. You got Garrett on one end, you got him on the other end. Their defensive line is starting to look really good. So I like that move. I don't believe in any of this Odell Beckham Jr. talk. I don't want the guy on the Browns. People say, "Oh, you're a Buccaneers fan." No. Well, you know what? I wouldn't want him on the Buccaneers either, because I think he's a cancer. You don't want that guy around. The Browns have something good going right now. It could go the right direction now, finally. You don't want Odell Beckham around causing problems, especially with a new coach, first-year head coach. You don't want him around. Dorsey has experience, but he's not on the sidelines. You don't want a guy like Odell Beckham on your team causing problems during games. No, I say let him go to Pittsburgh, let him go to Cincinnati, let him go to who wants him. Two places I don't want Odell Beckham to end up: Cleveland and Tampa Bay. He can go anywhere else. It's fine. Let him go to Pittsburgh and let him go to Cincinnati and cause problems. Okay? That helps the Browns. Let him go to Pittsburgh. They just got rid of a problem. Let him take on another problem. Let him go there and let him give up a lot to get him too. So, but like I said, Sheldon Richardson, good move. I said I'd talk about some other NFL stuff. I'm talk about Tampa Bay, who everyone knows, I'm a Buccaneers fan. I'm very disappointed in what they've done so far. Oh, my God. Very, very disappointed in what they've done. Oh, geez. They've let Quan Alexander go, Adam Humphries go. Are you kidding me? Those are 2 big guys. They traded Deshaun Jackson. Oh, they signed their 3rd-string quarterback, Ryan Griffin, today. Wow, big deal. Thanks for that. And then they had the nerve to send out a notification that Friday is the last day to renew your season tickets. Well, good luck with that, idiots. You let half your good players go, and you think people are going to buy season tickets? Yeah, good job. You can't draw anyway. The fans in Tampa don't come anyway, and then you're going to let half the team go, and then you're going to send out an alert that says Friday's the last day to renew your season tickets. Oh my, wow. Hey, that's good. That's a real good public relations move. All right. Well, that's it for sports. When we come back, we'll talk politics and news. Welcome back to the second half of the Lake County Sentinel podcast. I'm your host, Tim Shirer. You can check out our website at www.lakecountysentinel.com, or you could follow us on Twitter at LCSentinelCom or SportsSentinelCom, or you can even follow us at Lake County Sentinel on Instagram. But the second half of the show here, we talk politics and we talk news. Today, it's pretty much going to be mostly news. It's not going to be much politics, I don't think. We're going to, excuse me, oh my gosh. Let me get a little sip of my cherry Coke. What we're going to talk about today is mostly about the college recruiting scandal. And it was a huge news this morning. A bunch of people were indicted in this college recruiting scandal where Hollywood actresses were indicted and millionaires, millionaire people who were rich, wealthy people, basically bought their kids admission into colleges. And that's wrong. That is illegal. The system is set up so even the poor kid has a chance to go to the same college as the wealthy kid. If he works hard, he or she works hard. This is a good system. This is not medieval times where only the rich get educated. This is 2019, where people of little means, if they work hard, can get the same shot as people who are wealthy. So this is really, it's disturbing that people think they can just buy their kids a spot in college because they have money. And anyone that sticks up for them, I don't understand you. I mean, I could see wealthy people sticking up for them. I get that. But I can't understand a person who lives in a place like Wycliffe who thinks that this is okay. Yeah, I know stuff like this goes on, or people try. But to just say, I'm surprised that you're surprised, is ridiculous. I guess I'm not surprised, even though that you're sticking up for the wealthy once again. You're not a millionaire, or you're not a multi-millionaire. Okay? So why are you sticking up for these people? I don't understand it. To buy your kid into college? I don't think you did. I know you better than that. I don't understand why anyone would stick up for these people. I just don't understand it. So what we have here is a bunch of Hollywood types, and wealthy people. It's kind of amazing to me that these people thought they could get away with it too. They thought they could get away with it. And not only did these people bribe officials to get their kids into college, the guy who was in charge of this had it set up so then whatever bribe they paid, they can their taxes as a charitable donation. So not only were they bribing officials to get their kids into the collegiate, okay, but they then, not only did they cheat, okay, not only did they cheat to get their kids into college to get an education. I'm going to college to party and to do all the other stuff. And hey, why not? Your mother doctored the scores to get your ass in there. So I guess you should just do whatever you want. That kid that worked his ass off to try to get into the college and actually wanted an education. He's probably working in a grocery store somewhere, going to community college because he couldn't get in. Because your mom paid for you to get in and you don't even take it seriously. You little witch. I mean, if this isn't wealth and privilege at its worst, I don't know what is. I mean, if you see this video of her daughter, she is a little witch. She is a witch. So it just disgusts me, this scandal. And anyone that says, oh, I don't know why you're surprised by it. Well, I'm not surprised by it because I know wealthy people do this kind of thing because they think they're invincible. I'm not surprised by it. I guess it just disgusts me more than anything. Okay? Doesn't surprise me. It disgusts me. So that's that. We're going to have a stock market update today. We haven't had one of these in a while. The stock market closed down today, 96.22. It closed at 25,554.66. The stock market is up 5,636.66 under Donald Trump. At this point in his presidency, it was up 4,044.4. In Barack Obama's presidency, it had risen 33.57% under Barack Obama at this point. It has risen 22.05% under Donald Trump, meaning that it rose 11.5 points faster under Barack Obama than it is under Donald Trump. Therefore, Barack Obama is a better president for the economy. If you're going to go by the stock market, which Trump supporters do when things are going well. We're going to do it all the time. If it's going well or if it's not. We're going to end with that. I hope everybody has a good night. Hopefully we'll talk to you tomorrow.